It's the morning of August 6th, 1945. High above the Pacific Ocean, a single American bomber flies steadily toward the Japanese coast. This is a modified B-29 bomber named the Enola Gay. At the controls is Colonel Paul Tibbets, leading a mission so secretive that most of his crew doesn't know the nature of their cargo. Secured in the bomb bay is a device codenamed Little Boy. It is a 10-foot-long cylinder containing a payload unlike any weapon humanity had ever constructed. Their target is Hiroshima. While American firebombing raids had already leveled dozens of other Japanese cities, military planners had intentionally spared Hiroshima from any previous attacks. This city was left untouched so that the effects of a single bomb could be measured against a pristine target. In just 43 seconds, that calculated silence is about to end. The decision to drop this bomb was born from the brutal reality of the Pacific War in 1945. Despite devastating naval losses, Japan's military leadership refused to surrender, and battles on islands like Iwo Jima had proven how high the cost of continued combat would be. Military projections for a full-scale ground invasion of the Japanese home islands suggested casualties in the hundreds of thousands, or even millions for both sides. In the New Mexico desert, the Manhattan Project had just provided a different path. The Trinity test in July confirmed that a working atomic bomb was no longer a theoretical concept, but a physical reality. President Harry Truman faced a choice with no easy outcome: proceed with the deadly conventional invasion, or use this new technology to try to shock the Japanese government into an immediate surrender. On July 26th, the Allies issued the Potsdam Declaration, demanding an unconditional surrender and warning of prompt and utter destruction. Japan did not accept the terms. With no surrender forthcoming and an invasion fleet preparing to sail, the order to proceed with the atomic strike was locked in. At 8:15 in the morning, local time, the Enola Gay releases its single bomb over the center of Hiroshima. Because the city below had been protected from earlier raids, every building and street remains a perfect baseline for the military's scientific measurements. The bomb is set for a 43-second freefall. It isn't designed to explode on contact, but to detonate at a specific height to maximize the blast wave. At exactly 600 meters above the city center, the firing mechanism triggers. As the countdown hits zero, the theoretical power described by the Manhattan Project scientists is suddenly unleashed on a living city. In the first millisecond, a blinding flash is followed by a fireball. At its core, temperatures reach millions of degrees, hotter than the sun's surface. This intense heat is followed immediately by a massive shockwave that flattens buildings across the city center in seconds. Tens of thousands of people are killed instantly. The thermal flash is so intense that victims near the center are vaporized, leaving only dark silhouettes burned into the surrounding stone. Across the ruins, thousands of small fires merge into a massive firestorm that consumes everything the blast spared. By the time the smoke clears, Hiroshima has been effectively erased from the map. Historians estimate that by the end of 1945, the death toll reached between 90,000 and 140,000, as survivors succumbed to the firestorm and the previously unknown effects of radiation sickness. Despite the destruction of Hiroshima, the Japanese government did not immediately surrender. 3 days later, a second bomb, codenamed Fat Man, was dropped on the city of Nagasaki. On August 15th, Emperor Hirohito broke with imperial tradition and addressed his people by radio. He announced Japan's surrender, specifically citing the new and most cruel bomb used by the enemy. With the formal signing of surrender documents, the deadliest conflict in human history finally ended. The decision to use these weapons remains a subject of intense debate. One side argues it was a necessary choice that saved millions of lives by avoiding an invasion, while the other points to the catastrophic civilian cost and the terrifying precedent it set. Regardless of that debate, August 6th proved that a level of destruction that once existed only in equations could now be applied to the world. Hiroshima stands today as a permanent reminder of the power humanity now wields, and a warning of a threshold crossed that morning that can never be uncrossed.